really kills the whole performance feeling. You can tune if you want. Are you playing an unaccompanied piece?
Yes.
I will make this one exception. You may, but do not play anything from your solo. Warm up from some other stuff.
So I'm Colton from Sandy High School. I'm a senior there, and I'm going to be playing the first two movements of...
They have you down as middle school, and I knew it couldn't be true. I'm looking at you going, is there any 8th grader in the world? I don't think so.
Well, 8th graders.
Yes, they can be pretty big, but they still don't look like an adult. Okay, so you're a senior at Sandy High. Okay, thank you.
And so the piece is 3 pieces for solo flute by FERROUD. I'm just going to play the first 2 movements. Jade.
Yeah. And did you work with it? Work on it with a private teacher? Or did you just?
A couple times, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, but mostly your own doing. So the very end, did you elect not to do the squiggly line?
Yeah, the two recordings I've heard by FLUTE and Robert Aiken.
Just left it
both.
out.
Yeah, just
Yeah. Okay. I would say if you want feedback that just helps your flute playing, what was interesting to me was it might have been partly not being totally warmed up, but it shows your tendency. You were quite angled in, which makes it easier to play in a way, but also makes higher notes flat and stifles your sound. But by the end of the second movement, you were flat out and your mouth was therefore more forward. It was able to move more. Your high notes, like at first I wasn't sure if you move your lips for different octaves. What's your belief?
Somewhat, yeah.
Okay, and by the end you were doing it, and so the focus and the sound and the intonation were all better. So I would just watch that in general, that you make yourself not roll in, and your lips are great. Use them. What you're doing is right. You could use them more, though. Just you can just figure out what you're doing and make sure you're always doing it. Your rhythm in the first movement was a little imaginative, but on the other hand, it is a solo piece. You can get away with it. In the second movement, your rhythm was much better, but you did do a few things that if you had had a piano part with you, you would have had to fix. But again, those of us sitting here aren't going to know any difference. And you're a great performer. Best stage presence of anybody so far today. I love that you didn't move at the end and you let the mood, continue a bit. That was super nice. What pieces have you done here in the past?
I did part of a Handel sonata in A minor sophomore year, and then the Andante from Andante and Scherzo for Louis Gahan last year.
Ah, interesting. How come you didn't do the whole thing?
Last year?
Yeah.
I just wasn't ready for the next
Got
year.
it. Got it. And you chose to do this because you loved it, or you didn't want to deal with piano?
I just liked the piece better. I was originally going to do Carmen Fantasy, but
That would be a killer.
yeah.
Yeah, that's a bit much. A bit much. And the only reason I'm asking is there's a lot of really great things about your playing, and I would know even more about your playing if I heard you with something to compare it to. There's a lot of things about rhythm, ensemble, intonation that I can't judge very well without you being with somebody else. But the main thing I would say, just based on your solo performance, is I like your tone even clearer, which your lip movement would help a lot. Do you know what your best range is, low, middle, or high?
No.
What do you like? Do you like low notes, middle, or high?
Lower, middle. That's
the case, yeah. But when you give it air and your lips are in the right position, your high notes are actually quite fabulous. So I'd work on making all your notes as great as your low notes. That would be way cool. And thank you. It was very enjoyable.
Cool. Yay, Colton.